What is going on, everybody? Welcome for the first time. We're back to another DLJ Works video. And this video, I bring good tidings. I bring some good news to everybody that's an aspiring web developer right now. And I want to just cut to the chase with this one because there's a lot of fear in terms of it's 2023 with the rise of technology and everything else. What direction is web development going? Is this still a viable career to get into? And I'm going to be honest with you. The things are going to get tough, but this does not mean that things are impossible for you to do or get into regardless of where the technology is going. That no matter how the technology changes, it still has to be built some kind of way. And we're not at the point right now where things are just writing themselves and they just don't need humans. There may be some plots out there. There may be some other things I'll talk about on my other YouTube channel and other video media. But right now, this isn't one of them. But we're not there yet in terms of things building themselves. Here's a fundamental core tenet that I believe conquers all these doom and gloom predictions about am I still going to have a job? Here's how you can still have a job regardless of where things are going into the future. Two things. And forgive the very bland presentation. That's not the point here. Let's pay attention to the information here. The first thing is that you need to learn one relevant coding language and specialize deep in it. You're either going to become a manager or you're going to become a builder. Regardless, because if you think about it, all these AI tools, they have to be built some kind of way. And there's people that's behind the scenes. They're builders for this. Right now, they're in building mode. I don't know how long they're going to be able to be builders, but we're still far away from builders even being eliminated to where, I don't know, Terminators are writing themselves or whatever the case may be. Some sort of like Jarvis sentient AI that's just speaking and being able to build its own and rejuvenate itself. But right now, there's builders, okay? You have to learn one specific language. Right now, I'm going to show you an article that says it's Python. I believe it's JavaScript, but either one, Python or JavaScript. Let's say if you pick JavaScript, let's stick with that one for an example. If you pick that and you go super deep into it, you learn that one language, you learn to see what can I now use with JavaScript? I'm an expert at this. What can I use JavaScript for that will help me to still maintain and keep a regular salary? How can I build advanced tools with this? How could this actually be applied outside of the rank and file information website? That's what's dead. That's what's dying. Just websites that's just based on information that don't really do anything. They're just informative. That's about to go away. That's about to go the way of the dodo birds. Okay. That's the second part that we're going to talk about. Also, let me hit the manager side too, because you can also know just enough to where you can actually manage something that's already built, but there's still some required skills that you actually need in order to effectively manage it. So you're either doing two things. You're either building the website. You're either building or you're managing the technology. And that brings us to the second part. So you want to take that and you want to apply this intense skill level that you just went deep on. And you're going to actually focus on building tools. That's out with the old, in with the new. What is the new hotness right now? And that's building tools. When we talk about tools, you're going to be the one making the hammers. You're going to be the one making the saws. So what does that look like online? We're talking about drag and drop builders, autoresponders, AI tools. Hey, even with HTML and CSS, that's being used for email development right now. But as soon enough, I think email development is going to reach a point to where HTML and CSS email development isn't going to be necessarily needed in the future. But I don't know how long off that is, and I could be completely wrong. I don't want to be right on that. I won't, because people are making a nice little penny with HTML and CSS for email development. But eventually, a transition is going to have to happen as more advanced tools are being made. So informational websites are out the door. You focusing on just building the next blog or some sort of like hospital website that just, is an information website about us and some homepage. That crap is over with. All right. It's done. So you have to really step up your game, and it is going to call for you to actually step your skill level up, do a high level of study, become an expert. But these two things right here, you focus on going deep on one coding language, JavaScript, Python, just for two examples. All right, but pick one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to apply that same knowledge, and you're going to then find a tool that you can actually either support that's already in the process of being built, or figure out how to build your own tools that would be necessary for the web. And also, too, the JavaScript is another language that can be used for gaming, for online gaming. So maybe you can get with a company, a website that has a lot of customers, and maybe you can participate in trying to help a video game designer who knows nothing about coding, and you could maybe be the programmer for them with your JavaScript expertise. These are all very much so good options. But today, if you want to survive, you're going to have to pick one language. This whole be a generalist, be a full stack developer, yeah, that may work, but you'll do better actually just picking one skill and being a super expert at it than applying that skill in order to build tools. That's where we're going at right now. You want to build tools like drag and drop things. For example, aweber.com, which is an email system. They have a drag and drop background within their back end for users. That's a tool that's being used for their users who want to build email, simply build emails without having to deal with the code. So you're not actually handwriting the code for the look and feel of a website. Again, that time is over with, but you want to be able to have a high level skill enough to where you can actually focus on building the tools. Okay. Let me show y'all an email. Let me see here. Let me see if I could find it. jQuery forms. What is it? It was what was the name of it? jQuery forms conditional logic. jQuery conditional logic 4. Okay, so this was one right here, I think. So yeah, so look, this is a very simple. I think I used this website years ago. Okay, this is an online tool right here where a person actually used their skill in terms of JavaScript, jQuery, in order to build an online form builder for people who don't know how to actually utilize or code jQuery conditional logic forms on their own. If you don't know what conditional logic is, it's like if you enter something into the field, it drops down a set of selections. If you say yes to this, then this selection will be available. If you say no to this, then this selection will be available. So this is a tool. What skills do you have? It's not just some website. It's just something that people can actually go to and they can actually build a jQuery form. All right. And then it teaches you how do you insert this into your website. If you want to sit up here and you want to make things easier for people, this is what I call a hammer. This is a hammer. This is a saw to cut down the tree. Right now, what this is going to do, this is going to cut down people's time who want to have their own custom form into their own website without having to pay something, some exuberant membership price in order to make that happen. So you see when you type in jQuery forms, all right, it allows you to create your own form with no problems at all. I used this, like I said, years ago, and this has helped me out immensely when I needed to I knew nothing about building jQuery forms, but I understood conditional logic. So I found this website, and this really helped me immensely in terms of trying to plug something into the company website that I was working with at the time. So this is a tool. This is what I'm talking about, using your skills in order to build an actual tool. Now, of course, yes, there's the look and feel of the website and all these other things, and maybe some PHP went into this, of course, but the fact of the matter is that you went deep on the skill. Can you produce something? Can you produce a tool for other people to use that will make their lives a lot easier? Okay, so that's the thing. So, and one of these, I got 2 websites up that actually talks about the future of web design, and both of them are pretty much kind of saying the same thing. We talk about the rise of AI. We know that, but even with AI, you have to think about it that with artificial intelligence, there's still some building. There's builders behind this technology in order to make this happen. And I mean, Elon Musk has said, we're summoning a demon. So, when you think about acolytes, you play Castlevania, you think about his acolytes, and there has to be some people there that has to actually summon this this evil entity. So that's the point that I'm actually trying to make here, is that behind this, there's builders. So you have to learn machine learning. And what coding language? He even said here, I think, from what I was talking about. So here it talks about the continuing rise of Python. So let me read this real quick. The language is behind the software running all the cool new things already exist. In fact, there are already several software generations old. Python, which dates from 1991, is flexible, resilient, and crucially a scalable high-level programming language that can make it all happen. Like the English language's role in international business, Python's becoming a lingua franca of web development. Like English, it's convenient, fast, and adaptable. Facebook, NASA, Google, YouTube all use Python extensively. Further, it's great for AI, machine learning, API integration, and rapid development, all trends of themselves. If Java is the dying star in your local web development design company, and across the board, Python is going interstellar. Check out our other posts on 8 reasons to create websites with Python for more resources on why it's growing quickly. So I don't have any websites to also make that argument for JavaScript, but I know just off of prior readings that JavaScript is also a predominantly used web language because it's also it's just widespread. So I'm not going to say it's just super adaptable or whatnot like it's just talking about here, but it's a commonly strong use case because it's a native language for the internet, for the World Wide Web when you're talking about JavaScript. So if you go deep on JavaScript or Python based on what they're talking about, this plays into what I was talking about here. Learn one language and go deep in it. We see that according to this article, which is 4 years old. I think this was written back in 2019 or something. So if you go deep with these things, because it says here language by 2020, you go deep with these things and specialize, this will be of a better benefit for you than trying to be a jack of all trades. Now, most companies may sit up here and celebrate being a jack of all trades. Sounds good on paper, but when you can do some amazing things with just one language, then that's what you need to actually stick with. And be honest with you, HTML and CSS, they go pretty deep on their own right now as well. So you just have to figure out if you're going to go deep with HTML and CSS. Like CSS branches out to things like Sass and Less, and it becomes its own viable like programming language to make it easier to use and all these other things. So if you go deep, you have to just figure out how do I apply this with making the type of skills that I want to use. Maybe you want to be the visual designer and you want to make sure that whatever tool is being built, that the user of it will have an easier time navigating the front side of it. You know, when I said the info sites are dead, if you're just focusing on building informational sites, that's not going to work out. All right. So we need to focus on building tools, and even websites that build themselves. What's the program that's going to be building these websites that are going to be able to build themselves? If you're trying to build the software behind this, you have to be a builder in order to make that happen. All right. So, this also talks about GitHub Copilot on this one, how to choose technology for web development. All right, so sticking to old technologies. As a top result, top trending technologies in web development are always changing. The use of AngularJS to create single page applications. We see that with Card. If you never heard of that, I think it's CARRD or CARDD. I can't really remember. However, in 2022, we can observe that React.js is significantly increasing popularity among developers when it comes to creating single-page applications. So you learn, again, this is proving my point. You learn one single coding language and you go deep on it. Maybe it's just a framework or whatnot. Even if you learn JavaScript bleeds into AngularJS. You learn JavaScript, you go deep, you see how it branches off, and you just become a specialist at it. You become a super expert, all right? I'm going to be honest with you. I fall more into the HTML, CSS camp. That's kind of where I actually stay at right now because I've just kind of migrated away and done some other things. So I haven't really taken time to learn just one thing super deep. But if I could do it all over again, or if I was to do it all over again and choose, I'll just go deep with JavaScript because it is one of the native languages for the web. All right. Same thing here. How are these drag and drop site builders being handled? How is this being managed? You're becoming a builder. So if you're trying to build a drag and drop site builder in order for people, because you want to leave informational websites, you don't want to be the web developer who's only building, or web designer who's only building these, 4-page websites, a home, about me, contact, and some information blog post. That time is done. Let the consumers build that for themselves. You want to be able to build the tools for consumers in order to make their own websites like that as easy as possible. The consumer should be the one building informational websites. You should be the one providing or building a tool for the consumer to build their little 4-page website. That's where we're at right now. That's the whole point of this video. So just kind of bringing things back in. this is how you're going to survive the doom and gloom of where we're talking about with AI and websites building themselves or wherever the case may be. You're either going to fall in the role of a builder or a manager, going deep onto one coding language and becoming a specialist at it, seeing how it branches off and the technologies you can actually make with it. Then you're going to apply that depth, all that deepness that you just went down, the rabbit hole you just went down. You're going to apply that intense skill level to building tools, not 4-page websites for some consumer or whatever the case may be. They could build that on their own, but if it's an inconvenience, then yes, you have an opportunity to still make some simple money, build a little 4-page website for them. But using the drag and drop tool, all right, that's those tools that already exist. Don't use your web development skills to build simple little informational websites, little simple 4-page websites, home, about me, contact. That time's over with. You're going to apply it and you're going to build something complex. I know it's going to, call for a higher degree of understanding and learning on your part, but this is where we're at right now. Go deep on something and you'll be super valued in a way that, and have a head up on everybody else in ways that you never even thought possible. That's all I got for y'all in this video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.